Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about Mazda's Retail Customer Data Platform, also known as our CDP, and educate you on the new technology that will allow us to reach the customer of tomorrow today. So let's dive deeper into this latest automotive buzzword and demonstrate why it's important for the future of Mazda and you, our dealers. There is a change in the digital marketing landscape. First and foremost, who has heard that cookies are going away? Most of you, right? Or changes in Apple's iOS privacy settings. Facebook said this change cost them $10 billion. The game is changing. The way we've advertised to customers since the dawn of the internet is going away. So what does that mean? We must do better analyzing the data that we have available. As dealers, we have all these different conversations with different vendors who have silos of our customer information. Nothing is centralized. Wouldn't it be great if we could fix that? We only identify website or MUSA customers once they've sent in a lead. There is no coordination between Tier 1 and Tier 3. We market to the same customers at the same time. We tend to be reactionary. We make changes at the end of the month based on looking back at previous month's data. What if we could do things in real time? And lastly, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's purchased something and still gets ads served to them from the company after the purchase is complete. It's such a waste. So what if I said we now have a solution to these problems? That solution is the CDP. We can summarize the CDP into 4 key elements. First and foremost, it collects data. This data will be gathered throughout the Mazda ecosystem, including your website, tools, Mazda USA, leads, third-party data, all coming into one centralized hub. Next, we aggregate that data. That data aggregation takes all the data from all those different entities and puts it into a singular platform for a singular view of a customer throughout all these different digital entities. Next, we segment that data into customer audiences based on the different signals we see from those digital entities so we can specifically identify where those customers are in their purchase journey. And finally, we activate. We provide a mechanism that allows our marketing partners to activate these different audience types. Now let's talk about why CDPs are becoming more necessary. Unlike maybe the last automotive buzzword, digital retailing, which was there to fix a specifically unique automotive problem, CDP utilization and implementation are taking place across all markets and all verticals. As you can see from this slide here, it was nearly a $5 billion industry last year, and it's projected to grow to nearly $20 billion over the next 5 years. And those other verticals are looking to implement these tools the same reason we are. Due to cookie deprecation that I was talking about earlier, better leveraging first-party data, providing a unified customer view, and with the end goal to provide a better customer experience. But what makes the Mazda implementation unique is that Mazda is thinking about the need to bring retail into the fold, creating efficiency in marketing spend across tiers while providing a holistic customer experience. We're fortunate with the partnerships we have between Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. As a Mazda brand, we have access to tagging data, lead data, phone call data, inventory data, so we can develop this cross-tier solution. Mazda's really leading the way here. So what does this holistic view of a customer look like? Aggregating all that data from those different silos I talked about provides us a very comprehensive view of our customer. As the customer moves through different phases of their journey, it's tracked within the CDP profile, so we can market to them in the most effective way possible. Now, the best way to demonstrate this is to take you through a customer journey. So let's do that now. Now, I'm going to use my wife as an example. As a mother of 3-year-old triplets, a minivan was the only option for us. But my wife is now dying to get out of that minivan. And she's watching the game with me and sees an ad for the brand new CX-90. So what do we do next when we're curious? We pick up our phone and go to Mazda USA to learn a little more about the vehicle. Look at the top right corner. At this stage, a profile is created. At this stage, Mazda doesn't know who this user is, but we do know it's a brand new user that's now engaged on our platform. So we now begin tracking this new user profile. Now, after putting the kids to bed, she decides she wants to resume her search. She picks up her phone, does a Google search, and sees a Tier 1 ad for Mazda USA, lands on Mazda USA, and decides to build and price out the CX-90 of her dreams. By submitting the lead, we now have PII. This enriches the CDP and allows us to cross-reference the PII against demographic data with our third-party partners. Now Mazda knows who exactly my wife is, and we can then target an RGTM ad and drive her straight to the dealer's website. She continues her search by looking at CX-90 inventory and then goes back to Mazda USA to rebuild a vehicle and look at other offers. At this stage, her CDP profile is rich, and we know that she is a highly engaged active intender. So our advertising is now going to feature the best possible offers and incentives to encourage my wife to take the next steps towards conversion. The following day, with the CX-90 still on her mind, she decides to get back into Google and search for CX-90 offers. Here she'll see a dealership ad, the same dealer that she was looking at previously, and she's driven straight onto the dealer's website. She begins to look at multiple vehicles and begins to play with pricing within the digital retailing tool, but abandons it. Nevertheless, the CDP profile is enriched again with more data. It's 7:30 in the evening, the day is winding down, the kids are in bed again, so my wife decides to hop on Facebook. And there she sees she's been targeted with a VIN-specific ad for the vehicle that she previously began pricing out on the dealer's website. The ad shows the price of the vehicle that she'd configured, and when she clicks on it, it brought her right back to the last step that she was on within the digital retailing tool, so she can complete her deal. The CDP is again further enhanced with all this additional activity from her engagement within the digital retailing tool. Now she ultimately decides to complete the deal from the convenience of her own home and opts for an in-store pickup. Once the deal is complete, the CDP resegments her from an active shopper into a sales suppression list, so no further sales marketing continues. But that CDP profile is now there, ready to be used for any future communication for service, accessories, or loyalty and retention, allowing her to be marketed to at the appropriate time through the appropriate channel as part of our overarching Retail 360 initiative. With the launch of RGTM Plus, we're going to be looking at 4 core audience types. First is what we call an identified shopper, and these are shoppers that have been newly identified and are actively shopping on a dealer website or Mazda USA. Next is what we call back-in-market shoppers. These are shoppers that were previously known via a CRM, phone lead, walk-in, with no recent communication, and have now re-engaged and are actively shopping again on Mazda USA or on your dealer website. These 2 segments make up what we call active shoppers. Our third segment are expired active shoppers, which is someone that was previously in one of the first 2 segments, but they have disengaged and we haven't seen any recent activity. And we wrap up with our sales suppression audience, which is comprised of customers who have purchased a vehicle, Mazda or another vehicle, from any Mazda dealership. And these audiences are exclusively available to dealers that subscribe to RGTM Plus. Now let's take a look at some use cases of how we can use these core audiences. Use case number 1 is focused on newly identified customers who are actively shopping your dealer website or Mazda USA. These customers have been active on your website within the last 90 days. They were previously unknown, meaning that they've never submitted a lead, called, or walked into the dealership. However, their identity has been resolved just by visiting the dealer's website or Mazda USA. Once these customers are identified, they are tagged as an identified active shopper and they are pushed to your Google and Facebook accounts for advertising. This is a prime use case for the CDP's capability because, on average, only 2% of customers identify themselves on dealer websites by submitting a form or a phone lead. Now, harnessing the collective power of the CDP, 40% of dealers' website traffic will be able to be identified for personal advertising and marketing. This audience will account for shoppers on dealer website, shoppers on certified digital retailing tools, messaging, trading tools, plus shoppers who have taken low funnel actions on Mazda USA. Only dealers and vendors of RGTM Plus will have access to this audience data. Again, audiences are automatically pushed into the dealer's Google and Facebook advertising accounts for their providers to create campaigns with. The dealers do not have to do anything in order to market to these shoppers. And then once they're pushed to your advertising accounts, their RGTM provider can create lookalike audiences to build and create additional audience pools. Now for use case 2, we're going to be focusing on re-engaging shoppers who are identified on your dealer website or Mazda USA. These customers have been active on your website within the last 90 days, but the difference here, they were previously known, meaning they did submit a lead, call, or walk into your dealership at some point. However, their identity is recognized when they visit the dealer's website or Mazda USA. Once these customers are re-identified, they are tagged as a back-in-market active shopper, and they're again pushed to your Facebook and Google accounts for future advertising. Now, to cover some of the benefits of this use case, let's look at the items on the right-hand side. This is another prime use case for the capabilities of the CDP, because dealers will now have the ability to know when a previous customer or prospect is showing renewed interest in buying a Mazda. This audience will account for shoppers on your website, shoppers on your digital retailing tool, messaging, trade-in tools, plus shoppers again that have taken low funnel actions on Mazda USA. This will also account for shoppers who are logged in to the dealer's CRM as a walk-in or a fresh up. And just like use case 1, only dealers and vendors in the RGTM Plus will have access to the audience. Everything is automatically pushed to your Google and Facebook accounts for campaign creation, and lookalike audiences can also be created. This is powerful stuff, right? So let's now move on to use case 3, and here we're going to be talking about media optimization through demand generation and demand capture tactics through audience coordination. Specifically here, we're talking about customers that were previously an active shopper in bucket 1 or 2 that is disengaged, and we've not had any activity from that user in the last 91 to 150 days. So this coordination takes place by kicking that customer back up to the tier 1 and tier 2 advertising. So Mazda and VMLY&R can re-engage this customer with high or mid-funnel media, saving your valuable tier 3 dollars. We're creating efficiencies and eliminating waste. Our goal with this program is to deliver the right message to the right customer at the right time, wherever they are in their journey. And for our final use case, we're going to be talking about media optimization through audience suppression. Specifically here, we're talking about segmenting out customers who have purchased a vehicle, that being a Mazda or another vehicle from a Mazda dealership. These customers will be segmented into a suppression audience to ensure that they are not marketed to for any sales media campaigns for tier 3, tier 2, or tier 1. And now the benefits, I'm sure you can guess by now, but only dealers and RGTM Plus will benefit from suppression data. The suppression list will be refreshed daily and automatically pushed to dealers, Google and Facebook accounts, and to Mazda Corporate. This will help to further optimize your media budget to ensure you are no longer advertising to customers who have just purchased either at your store or at another Mazda store. And this will also help optimize Tier 1's media budget so both dealers and Tier 1 can spend their money on other campaigns. So at launch, we're collecting data from these sources within the Mazda ecosystem, putting them into one centralized hub where we aggregate, segment, and activate in a coordinated fashion to our 3 core advertising pillars. It is our intent to further expand these inputs in the future. This is groundbreaking stuff, and I hope you're as excited about this as I am. So in summary, here's what I hope you learned about the technology today. CDP is a platform that empowers brands to create a unified view of the customer and activate against it. It works by collecting, aggregating, and segmenting data in a way that can be easily activated against. It will help improve media campaigns by ensuring the right customers are being targeted, and it will help decrease costs because of the media efficiencies it supports. It will help improve cross-tier alignment and ultimately help improve the customer experience. All of these capabilities we discussed today will automatically be included for dealers that roll in RGTM+. And we believe leveraging this latest technology, creating efficiencies, coordination, and providing a better customer experience will help guide us towards that goal of 50,000 units. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video today. There will be a short FAQ right at the end of this video, but if you have any questions about the CDP or Retail Go-to-Market Plus, please don't hesitate to contact any of your regional Mazda digital consultants. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next one.